there. Welcome to Team Motivate and welcome to your new business. I always wanted to hop on here and give you a few tips on this new business adventure that you just joined. I'm pretty sure that you're feeling a little overwhelmed, and that's okay. We all felt overwhelmed when we first started. Sometimes we still feel overwhelmed. It is completely normal. This is all new. So one of the things when I first started, I was not consistently plugging away trying to learn all this stuff. And then I wondered why I wasn't being so successful. But once I took the step back and started plugging away and learning about things, learning about this whole business, I started to enjoy it, what I was doing every day. That's when the success started happening. Instead of me sitting there just trying to run, and trying to compare myself or keep up with this person or that person, when I started just being consistent and plugging away and learning this business, and that is when the success started to happen. Like when I first started, I was working full time. I had worked overtime a lot to pay bills. I was overweight. I had no business background. I had no fitness background, and I definitely had no kind of following whatsoever. So it was a little slow starter for me, but I just couldn't let that, stop me comparing myself to other people. Because if you're that kind of person that tends to think it may be easier for this person or easier for that person because of whatever, let me tell you that is not the case. This type of thinking will really, really bring you down. You have to realize that there's no secret to this business. It's not easier for this person or that person, to be successful. We all have different strengths and weaknesses. When we start in, we have a certain set of skills that, are better than other skills that we come in with. But do not think for 1 second that you won't be as good as so-and-so or that person for whatever reason. One of the things is, like, if you look at any of the other successful coaches that are in Beachbody, you'll see, and you listen to their stories, that they all came in at a different point in their lives. Some were overweight, some were already fit, some, were, on welfare, some weren't, everybody had something different going on in their lives, but they were able to be successful in this business. It's the one thing that is common among all the different successful people in Beachbody is that they never gave up, and they always showed up. Those are the two things. They didn't matter how they started. It was that those two things that they were consistent with. They never gave up, and they always showed up. So you have to realize that this business takes time, you guys. It really does. You need to be patient. I say this all the time. This business is a marathon, not a sprint. But many on my team, after a month or so of not being able to fill their challenge groups or not being able to build their team, they start having that self-doubt creep into their mind, and they feel like, okay, they're not going to be good at this business, and they just won't be good at this business. But you have to realize that it takes quite a few times for somebody to hear a message before they act on it. I mean, think about you. Think about your story about how you started in this. Pretty sure somebody had to invite you a few times before you decided it was the right time for you. So, your first month, your second month, it's not it's not going to determine the rest of your career. One of the things that I will tell you that's going to happen is that if you are consistent, for about 3 or 4 months of sharing your message and your workouts and everything like that, you're going to have somebody send you a message and be like, hey, thank you so much. You were so inspiring. You motivated me to do blah, 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 blah. And you're going to be like, that person probably never commented or never liked anything that you had posted or shared in the past, but somehow you motivated, inspired them. See, that's the thing. People are watching constantly. Whether they're watching for good or bad, doesn't matter. They're still watching. And as you stay consistent over time, you're going to create that momentum, you're going to create that trust, and you're going to create that credibility. So after a month after a month is not a good allotted time to assess where you're going to go with this business. Shoot, not even like 3-6 months is a good enough time to assess if you're going to be good in this business. It's kind of ridiculous to think about that, you know. It really is. It's not enough time to build the momentum, the trust, and the credibility that you need in this business, especially if you're somebody like me who had no following. You know, it takes time, but I'm gonna tell you, it is so worth it. It is so worth it, because this business can change your life entirely. You can make a full-time income. Shoot, scratch that. You can make a very lucrative income with this business if you have patience and stay consistent. There are there are quite a few $1 million earners in our network. And I'll tell you, including myself, we did not start off, you know, that first year or even the second year with that as our goal in this business. Completely honest, I didn't even know that that was a thing to have a title of until I actually was close to it. I never even tracked that, because that was not a goal of mine, and I know that that wasn't a goal of theirs. It was just about loving what we did, loving helping other people, being consistent, and showing up every day. But now, because of that, we have more choices in our lives, we have more flexibility, we have more freedom. Our children can go to the best schools. We can afford the best groceries. You know, we can live wherever we want to live. It has given us so much of, you know, doing those two things. Like I said, you know, we didn't set out for that goal. We just loved what we did, and we believed in what we did, and we were committed in what we did, regardless of what was going to happen, or what had happened, regardless of what people told us, or what people said about us, regardless of what people thought about us. We just loved what we did, and we believed in what we did. And when you do that and you stay committed, the income will follow. But to be completely honest, very few people are willing to have that vision and commitment and discipline to really work the business a little bit every single day. Too many people let what's going on in their head or in the outside world, things that they can't control, what other people are thinking, and how the success of other people really get in their head, and they develop like self-doubt, and then they just give up. And unfortunately, this is the majority of people. But I'm going to tell you, if you're one of those special people that doesn't give up, that loves it anyways, no matter what, that are in it to help people, that wants to learn and act on what they're learning. If you're the people that know that you may fail, but the whole idea about failing is to learn from it to be better. If you're one of those people that, you know, are just have a positive attitude and who are committed and believe in this, you will do well. So let's talk about your first month, okay? So your first month, a good goal for your first month would be hitting a Success Club and becoming an Emerald Coach. Now, if you don't hit those two goals your first month, or you hit one or the other, that's okay. That is not an indication of how successful you can be in this business. I promise and tell you, if you don't hit those goals, does not mean you're not going to be the next rock star in this business. Does not mean that you're going to, whatever vision you have is not going to come true because your first month you didn't hit that goal. Do I think that's a good goal to be going for? Yes, I do. But if you don't hit it, we just change the goal date. And that's with any goal, you guys. Like anything that you put a goal on, you put a due date, and if you don't hit it, that goal, you made that goal for a reason. There is something that made you want that to happen. So you don't give up on your goal. You just change the date. You change the way we did it. We learn from it, and then we go on. That is what that's just how it works. I'm going to tell you, when I first started my first few months, it wasn't very successful, but I knew what I wanted. I knew why I wanted this business to work, and I just could not give up on that. And that's how this is going to go. Like I said, this takes time, but it's so worth it. So thank you for getting on. I'm so excited that you listened. I just want to tell you that I am here for you. Okay, I am here for you. I'm rooting for you to be successful. Shoot, I'm rooting for you to be more successful than I am. I have so many resources for you guys, and I hope that you use it. It's kind of like, I thought about this the other day when I was helping my son doing Legos. It's like Legos. You get a whole box of a whole bunch of different pieces, and you know they will make what's on that picture in the box. But honestly, unless you follow those instructions, it's probably going to take you a really long time, or maybe you might even give up before you get it to make that picture on the box. But there's instructions for you to follow so that you can do it in no time. So use the instructions so that you can create that picture on the Lego box before you give up. So use the resources. I really hope that you go for it. I really, really do. I hope you stay long term. I hope you do never and ever give up on you and your vision. I hope you don't give up on others, because we need you. We really do. I need you on this team. We need you for our mission. And our mission is to end the trend of obesity. So thank you guys for listening, and welcome again for joining Team Motivate.